on this computer. So I'm just taking my free PCR test because I'm about to get on a plane.
Gosh, I can't believe that that just got here right away.
What's
What
that?
time do you
I'm
leave?
on a 1 o'clock flight tomorrow.
Okay.
So there's Mary. I still feel so proud of DC that you can do this. And the Department of Health is in my building. So I just walked downstairs, got a PCR test for free, and then stick it in a drop box outside my building, and I get the results in 24 hours.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Why don't they have that everywhere?
I know. And every day, I think I've bragged about this before, but every day we can get 8 free rapid tests every day. And the other day I'm going to a meeting where there's like a roundabout about whether we should all test before we go or just wear masks or test every day or all this stuff. So I went in, there's a guy at the table. This to me is like so Asian, Dana. There's a guy at a table handing out the tests, and the limit is 4 tests per day, right? So I go in there, I get my 4 tests, and then I was like, what the heck? I put a scarf on my head and I walked in like 5 minutes later and asked for tests, and just
It's Halloween.
And then I was standing out there, I was like, oh my God, I should just ask the people at the bus stop to like go in and get me a bunch of tests. Like, because I'd been going every day to the library because I used all my tests while I was in Oregon, right? So I'd been going every day. It's only open until 6. So I'd been like pushing down Sienna. I was like, you should just like pay some, kids on the street $1 a piece to go in and get the.
Well,
I'm
even
still
to pay
laughing.
them to go get them and take them home. Like, I get it. You're getting them for you, but there was, I read
Well, I wanted to get extra ones in case my colleagues don't have them,
Right.
because we're going to have people coming from all over the place. And,
Right.
they may or may not be expensive in wherever they're coming from. So
I just had to buy a bunch because I ran out. I used them all.
how
giving
much
them
were
to
they,
my
Mary?
family. A box of, there's some with 2 and 1, but a box of the blue, I forgot what the blue box was. It's like $24. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially when you can get them for free. I saw something on Nextdoor this morning that some porch pirate stole the person's they had ordered their last, their 3rd free bunch, and the guy
which expired like September 2nd or something, right?
Right, but I mean, they're still good, but still, they had just gotten their 3rd
free one
order,
from the federal government.
and there's a picture of the guy stealing that package on their porch, and it's like, really? Like,
from that doorbell thing, doorbell surveillance system.
Yeah.
Wow. People are jerks. That is really funny about putting that scarf on your head, though. I just was
like, that guy's not, he's just like, next, whatever. And I was like, I'm just some white lady.
So it's like,
what is he gonna do? Challenge me and be like, weren't you just in here? And I'd be like, no, it was somebody else.
No, that's not what are you talking about?
No, I don't work 3 floors up and it takes me 5 minutes. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't hand out the rapid tests at the Department of Health. That's only at the libraries.
Yeah. That is one thing about being like an average looking white lady, is the stealth that it affords you is ridiculous. I mean, now that I'm older, I've gotten away with this shit my whole fucking life.
Well, yeah.
It's just like so easy. If you look like you're not doing anything wrong, no one thinks
we could like go in and walk out with a large screen TV of Walmart and nobody would
no shit. Nobody would say anything.
Probably somebody would say, would you like some help with that?
Yeah, exactly, Mary.
Yeah. It's not funny, it's pitiful, but it's funny. It's just stupid.
Although I did get carded at Bi-Mart the other day for the first time.
Kate and I got carded at Mart.
I think
And
they're
then we tried to like
cracking
talk
down.
our way in and they wouldn't let us in. So she'll laugh and remember the details. So we had to like, then I had to carry Craig, we had to get new Mart cards for like $5.
What?
I again, probably the old white lady syndrome, but I was like, I mean, who carries who has a Mart card first of all? Like to be honest, I don't think I ever even had one. And then if you do have one, whoever carries it with you, right? At least I don't.
Only old white ladies do shit like that, or old white men.
Well, they said, yeah, do you have your card? And I said, oh, I'm sure I do some here somewhere. And I'm like fake looking through my bag. No, I don't. Okay, well, come over to the other side. You know, they do make you feel like a tiny bit like a criminal, like you're doing something wrong. So I walked around and they like typed in the number. And they're like, oh, well, have you ever lived on some other street? And I'm like, oh, that was a long time ago. No, but you know, like, okay, might as well lie my way out of it. Didn't get me very far. And then, of course, I'm not by the book, Kate. So then
In your pants right now.
I would have been
What's
lying
that?
my ass off too.
What's that?
I would have been lying too. I would have been fabricating all manner of tales in order to get my ass out of that shit.
Well, in the end, they ended up giving me a card. I didn't even pay for it. So it's like I went through all that trouble. So then the next time I went in, which I don't go in very often, but they must have had some plants on sale or something. I don't even know. But I went in and they're like, do you have your card? And I said, oh no, I was just here, you know, a couple weeks ago. And they printed a new card. And I don't remember if they had printed one the first fake time or not, but kind of silly.
So Mary, I want to ask about the quilt behind you. First of all, you're in a different room in your house or you're someplace different.
Oh yeah, I was just riding my bike, so I decided to stay in here because it's cooler.
Yeah.
This a friend of mine made when my daughter was born,
Aw.
and it has some of my fabrics in it, and then some of hers. But yeah, it's really pretty.
Very cute.
Nice.
Is it hand quilted?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So was this Abby's room that is now the bicycle room?
No, it's my living room.
Oh, it's your living room. Huh.
Yes.
I guess then when I came to your house, we must have walked straight past and outside.
Probably. Yeah, did you even come inside? Probably not.
We did because I remember seeing the frozen berries. We got the frozen berries out of the freezer.
Which I did make some more ice cubes,
Ah,
but oh well.
You're making berry ice cubes.
What's that?
You said you're making berry ice cubes?
Well, Laurel reminded me when she was here last time that I had made some ice cubes with frozen berries and mint or something in them. So thinking that she and Rosaline were going to come over at this time, I made them again. I didn't remember, but she remembered. So
I remembered because, I mean, I've never lived in a place that you can just like pick berries out of your backyard. So to me, like to have raspberries that cost like $4 for a little tiny pint, you know, in an ice cube, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's
I
extravagant.
will savor this one ice cube. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing like in Asia, like when you thought papaya was so special.
Yeah.
And you ate it, and then you realized that there was like papaya was like poor people's food, basically.
Yeah. Yes. I do remember thinking how special papaya was.
Yeah.
And then realizing that they're everywhere. I mean, it's an Australian delicacy.
With
Hawaiian.
lime juice on it.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's how Indonesians eat it. They squeeze a little lime juice on a papaya.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty lucky because I have lots of friends who have various things either growing or they have farms. And like my neighbor has a farm out about an hour away, and she'll say, "Hey, do you need any garlic? Do you need any onions? Do you need any whatever?" And she'll just
yes,
leave a bag of whatever on my front. And
Mhm.
that's always nice.
my
I like,
neighbor up the street, her plums are doing really well again this year. And she's like, "How many plums do you want?" And so, and I have a dryer, so I dry a lot of those and
Mhm.
oh, right. What do you do with dehydrated plums?
eat them
I mean, yes.
and stay regular.
Oh,
Oh, they're like prunes.
They
yeah.
are. And they're
Gosh.
really, I mean, I never liked prunes as a little one. And apparently, to be technical, there are prune plums.
Oh,
They're actually a different kind of, I mean, there's hundreds of different kinds of plums, but the Italian prune plums, which are sort of the oblong purple ones that are growing everywhere here,
Oh,
tend to have more of, are the ones that people, I mean, I suppose you could make prunes out of anything, but, or any
Mm.
plums, but
wait, but what are prunes made out of? Now I feel stupid. I'm like, oh, prunes are like raisins are made out of grapes and prunes are made out of
prune plums.
prune plums.
Yeah, they're a special kind of
I was like,
plums, but
they're made out of big prunes.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
what they're made out of.
That's
I worked with a woman who was like this gardening snob, and if you ever made, like, I would take in baskets from my plum tree that has 4 different kinds of plums on it,
Right.
and I would take them in and say, "Oh yeah, you can dry them," and I just make prunes out of them. And she's like, "Oh, those are not prune plums. Those are," I'm like, "All right,
Gosh.
they're dried plums, whatever you want to give." Anyway,
So what do? You pit them and then slice them?
well, usually I cut them in half, take the pit out, and then cut those in half because they're, you can dry half of them. They just take longer.
Okay. I
Right.
didn't know they made like little plum rings.
Full
No.
plum rings.
No, but they're pretty yummy.
I had a plum today. I still feel like plums are really special. Like,
Well, they
I don't
certainly
know,
are.
when I go to
Buy
the
them in
grocery
the
store,
store,
I'll
but-
like look through all of them and, get like 2.
Oh, they are,
Yeah.
especially if you buy them in the grocery store, and they're just like any fruit, they're stupidly expensive. And then
Yeah,
if
they
you buy
are.
it, it's not vine ripened, and it's like it. By the time you eat it, it's probably, at least for me, it's either hard because I've left it too long, or it's just
Mhm.
you
Yeah, then you have to watch
right.
them really carefully. Yeah,
Yeah.
when did fruit get so expensive? I don't know, like apples now are like $1.50 a piece.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
Sure. Like, yeah, I'm a big apple eater.
Pandemic
so-
did that to a lot of stuff, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're fortunate because we can get apples that come, from the Hood River Fruit Loop. So that, I mean, we can get so much stuff like that. Our citrus fruits, no, but yeah, I mean, I think that fruit that, like Mary, what you were saying with plums and peaches growing up, being able to walk down the street and pick them off a tree, they have such a different taste
Well,
now. I mean, that like the ones that are not vine ripened, like you said, or tree ripened, just have that wonderful something about them that you just don't get with store fruit.
yeah. Well, Dawn is coming over in about an hour to pick.
Oh,
Oh,
did
good.
everybody get her sweet email?
I did.
I know. It was such
Yeah.
a nice recap. And it was fun because when I saw the email, I was like, oh, well, we've already seen the video and heard the stories, but reading it again, I was like, it was like a whole different take on their adventure.
It was, yeah. And
I've seen that. When
give both of their takes on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see it, Dana?
Did it come as an email this morning?
I think it came early this morning or late
Yeah,
last
either
night,
today or
maybe.
yesterday.
I
Yeah.
don't think I made it that deep into my emails first thing this morning. I'll have
Yeah,
to,
I'm sure she copied you on it.
oh yeah. I need to add those floating photos to your Google Doc as well. I will do that this afternoon.
To my Google Photo Drive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be able to even do that right off your phone.
Well, I had emailed the photos to myself and I was gonna put them onto my PC, so I'll just do it that way.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I just go onto that link and once it's opened on my phone, then I do upload photos and it says from phone and you just go in and pick the ones.
Oh, can you do that with an iPhone?
I would imagine, but I don't know. Does iPhone make it hard to be compatible with Google?
I have a little trouble when I'm trying to switch things back and
Depends on what you're
forth
doing.
between the operating systems, but I'm sure, I mean, I've got two Microsoft nerds in the house. I'm sure somebody can figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was just kind of, I don't know, anybody could do it, but
Well, we're gonna
It-
find,
yeah, but I mean, you know, again, like whenever I get on Apple now, I can't even, I can't do anything on it. I don't know. Like I can't even get back to the home screen, so. Anyway, I saw that Queen Elizabeth passed away.
Oh, she did?
Yes. Age
yeah.
of 96. I was
When?
actually down, it was on there in the public health place when I went down to get my COVID test to pick it up. You know, it's all Black native DC folks working in that place. So you go in and it says like Queen Elizabeth died. And so I said, oh my good, did Queen Elizabeth die? And the guy handed me the test and he said, yep, about time. We both burst out laughing and he said, I didn't mean it that way.
It is funny. Yeah.
Just like so little emotion for like, oh my goodness, you know, it was like, yep, about time.
You should have said it
Yeah.
again when you went down the second time. See what his response was. Oh, did Queen Elizabeth die?
God. Oh my
Yep,
God.
still.
True.
Huh.
Yeah, so neither of you are royals people.
I'm interested in history. I was just sitting here contemplating when you said that. I was like, wow. So it was Elizabeth I that was the monarch when the first slaves were shipped to Jamestown. Right?
Mm.
She was still alive at that point.
I mean,
I don't know,
you are
she was
so good with that
17
kind of
when-
history stuff. I would have to do a little Google search on that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was before the Spanish Armada, but they did have, that's where the first slaves set foot on American soil that we know. I mean, not talking about the Spanish, the ones that were brought in by the English. Was at Jamestown. It's
Mhm.
fucking fucked up, man. I don't
Yeah.
like that shit. Oh.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy to think, you know, so when you said that, that was his response. I just had like a little, my chuckle was different.
Exactly about that.
Well, she
Yeah.
was 16 or something when she took the throne, right? Like
Yeah,
16,
I
17?
didn't watch any of that. Miniseries.
Are you talking about Elizabeth I?
No, Queen
Oh, the
Elizabeth,
second.
the one that just died.
No, she was 18.
She was much older, yeah.
Yeah, she was
Not a
actually
whole lot.
older because she was married to Prince Philip already,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so I think she was in her
I thought
early
she was married and living in one of the African colonies.
Yeah, she was, because that's where she was when her father died, right? She had to come home.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know, it's just weird when you think about all of that time that's happened between everything that's happened between Elizabeth I and Elizabeth II as far as colonialism and the suffering of people. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sure that she had her own takes on it, but then it's just also so strangely bizarre that she would end up with a biracial daughter-in-law.
Well,
Cuckoo. I mean, when you
who
think
I think
about,
she hasn't been very nice to, if you believe the tabloid.
yeah. Well, she's, I mean, of any monarch, she should have been the one that realized that times are a changing and I better jump on board, especially after what happened with Diana. That was
Right.
a colossal fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of slavery, as we do sometimes. I finished that book, Washington Black, by S.E. Edugin, I think is the last name. Rosaline recommended it, or I guess I got it at, we saw it at Powell's bookstore. But it's about a slave actually from, I think he's in like Trinidad and, somewhere in the Caribbean.
Mhm.
And he's on a very brutal sugarcane plantation, and the brother of the plantation owner comes to town, and he's a scientist and an abolitionist and a naturalist, and he takes this kid under his wing, and it turns out he's a very skilled scientific illustrator, just a naturally good scientific illustrator. And it's kind of the adventure of the rest of his life. But I think it's probably one of the most, she really, it's told in his voice, and his experience of slavery and what he witnesses, and how he describes the brutality and then the fear that he lives with throughout his life, after having left the plantation, and basically the plantation owner then kind of put a bounty on his head, and he lives for 2 decades in fear. I think is one of the best depictions from a personal standpoint of what it felt like to be enslaved. I would
What year,
really
what
highly
year was that
recommend it.
book written? Was it written in
I
the
think it's a couple of
20s?
years old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's Ghanaian. And she said she was inspired by, I think she's Canadian, of Ghanaian descent, and she talks about having, traveled back to West Africa, and as you do, kind of go on tours of where slaves were held and so on, and kind of imagining this child's life. It's
So
really,
this is a novel?
it's a novel. Yeah, it's
okay.
a novel. It's a
I was,
novel.
because I was thinking
I
about
think
the,
it might have some truth in it. I think Rosaline said it was kind of loosely based on,
yeah. I think those stories where you have the voice of the person who is enslaved, really, really moving. I had read Barracoon, which was about the Clotilda, the last slave ship that was snuck into the country. And it's told by the last slave,
oh, I
the guy,
haven't read that one. What's the name of it?
Barracoon, which is the Portuguese name for the fort where they kept the slaves before they were shipped off on the Middle Passage.
Right.
Yeah, it was really hard to read. His sadness, I mean, all these years later, like I said, I think it was written in the 1920s. And
Wow.
it's written by a Black writer. She uses the dialect, his speech patterns, written down in the book. And it just, to hear somebody, you've never had the words.
Oh, it's Zora Neale Hurston.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Love her.
Yeah, actually, I probably have read that book.
Yeah. It's been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think his is the
So
only
much of it is
that
oral history too.
Yeah. His is the only oral written account that we have that says what it was like to have those terrifying female Dahomey warriors come into your village and kill your family and take everybody else that was worth selling.
Right.
That's that, and to have him say those. He was 19 when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading this right now. Can you guys see this?
The heart of everything that
is.
Sorry.
I cannot put this down. This is Red Cloud, the head man of the Oglala Sioux, who basically was the only native chief to ever warlord, really. He defeated the US Army at their own game. I mean, obviously it wasn't we know how history ended, but his raids were devastating to the cavalry. It is brilliant reading it. I mean, it's just we were assholes.
Those kinds of historical novels. So yeah, I see it on it looks like it's been around for a while too, huh?
Yeah, this is, I think, was written in 2007. I am amazed at the brutality of white Europeans. Although these people were not necessarily nice to their neighbors either.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, wow. Humans are a piece of work, aren't they?
They really are. Yeah, they really are.
You have to wonder, you know, I mean, are we any better than like chimps that will just, well, not chimps, but you know, I mean, we still have something inside of us that's not so pretty.
I mean, it almost feels like, are we even as good as other animals? I mean, some of the ways that humans torture other humans, like
Yeah.
you sit
We were
around.
just talking about that last night, that like, I'm like, I feel like our distant ancestors who walked on land from the ocean and then were like, fuck this shit. And then went back to the ocean and went on to become whales and dolphins. Like, ugh, gross. We don't like that dirt. I mean, and this is what we are. You know, I think we have the same social structures. We have,
And this
you
is
know,
supposed to be evolved.
mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Man,
I could sit around and just ponder this shit forever because it is a curious thing. Why are we like that? And why did our brains explode in capacity over such a short period of time?
mhm, mhm.
Was it because we were eating mushrooms?
Is that one of the popular theories, Dana?
That's her
That's
popular.
Recent popular theory that's been put forward. I don't know. Has anyone ever seen Battlestar Galactica? The not the original one in the 70s, but it had such a great last episode that basically,
I mean, so many of those are really kind of exploring those questions in a fantastic
yeah,
way,
I
right?
mean, it did.
Yeah.
My jaw was just like on the floor at
Yeah.
that last episode where, you know, they land on the savannah somewhere and you're like, oh my God, it's fucking 300,000 years in the past. And they're looking at pre-modern humans and they're about to make modern humans.
Right, right.
It's just fascinating, you know? I don't know. I like to think about things like that just for shits and giggles.
Oh. Well, any other news today, or should we get going?
Yeah. Are you all packed up and ready to go?
No, I went and got some bug spray last night. That was my one nod towards oh, I'm traveling. And then I was like, I guess everything else I could get in the airport if I needed. Like, I don't know where I need to go find like my electrical converters and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Not
Gosh, when was the last time you saw those?
Before
you-
several moves ago.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's one of those things where I don't know how recently either of you have moved, but like you know where it is in the last place that you lived,
Right.
and then you're trying to think like, where would I have put that? And
Yeah. What box is it in?
That's why I was thinking you moved from your condo in
Right.
in Alexandria or
2 years ago, yeah, and I know exactly where it was there.
yeah.
But I was saying to my daughter last night, like it's just like your muscles weak, right? Like you used to just kind of, you know, so I've been making a list all week, like trying to think of what are all the things you have to bring.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be
Mhm.
something when I get on the plane and be like,
Ah,
yeah, but the electrical adapter is one that,
yeah, those are hard to find in the airport now. Peter was looking for one. He lost something on a couple of trips ago and
don't tell me that.
sorry.
But it is, it's the things that you think, of course they'll have that. I mean, it'll be stupidly expensive, but
Oh
of
yeah.
course they'll have it. And then, you know,
I mean, they'll definitely have it in Bangkok, I'm assuming,
Yes.
right?
Did you label all your boxes well, or did you just throw shit in there and
No, I did label them pretty well. I think it's just, I don't know if I would have labeled like
But
electrical.
that's one of those miscellaneous boxes. You know, not miscellaneous, like, oh, this doesn't really fit in any of the boxes, so here
Yeah.
you go. There's a little
Yeah.
room left in that one.
I know I did find my Save the Children ID card, which is supposedly required when we travel, like you're supposed to have it
Oh.
for whatever reason. So I know where that is because I went on the Afghan response, you know, just
Right.
with the
Oh,
new.
yeah.
So it's, I know it was in the same place as that card. So I don't know. I just have to dig through something. But it's that kind of stuff.
It sounds like something that should be done with a pear vodka cocktail.
It should
Exactly.
be if I had some pear vodka. Who didn't have the foresight to bring home a bottle of pear vodka?
I
Oh,
can,
yeah. But
can
you
ship
do
you
have
some.
your water bottle,
But
right?
my suitcase was 49.5 pounds.
I love it.
Seriously, I have those bubble sleeves that you can
I know
ship
you
booze
bragged
in.
about those for months.
Do you want me to send you do you need a bottle for when you get home?
No.
Okay.
I can get well, you guys didn't, I brought, I found Italian liqueur distillery here in DC. And they've got like
Ooh.
limoncello and stuff like that. Amaro, the licorice, the dark
Yes.
licorice thing. And then they had a fennel liqueur that I brought with me to Portland, but we drank it at Peg and Mark's house. That was
That
really
sounds
Well,
good.
you do have your water bottle from Wild Roots though, right? Or did you,
that was Rosaline that got that.
Rosaline? Okay.
Yeah, she was hilarious carrying around that huge.
I'm gonna go get one. I tried twice now when I went to pick up my computer that was right near there.
And they were closed?
They're closed like Mondays and Tuesdays or something.
Oh, a lot of places are closed Mondays and Tuesdays in Portland, I found out.
Weekends are popular here. People
Yeah.
like to get out and do shit on weekends, and we don't have that dogmatic stigma about Sundays, so fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get in there. Oh, hey, Mary, there's the night market's coming up again pretty soon. Did you like to go to that?
The what?
The night market?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Fun.
just saw they posted on Instagram that they've got their October, November, I think, September, October. Anyway, it's been so long since I've been there, and they have a Wild Roots stand there. That's what made me think of that.
Oh.
Well, they gave
Yeah,
us a
I was
free
gonna go.
cocktail when we went to Wild Roots.
Say that again. Sorry.
They gave us a free cocktail when we went to
Oh,
Wild
right.
Roots. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons that I didn't go because I thought, like, I don't really want to go in and say I want a bottle of this, and a water bottle by myself. Like, there's something that is missing just to go in and pick up something. I think that there's certainly an experience. I don't know this. I'm speaking from your guys' experience,
Mhm.
but
Well,
you know,
I think
certainly
maybe
the company had a lot
the
to do
next time you go swimming with Kate, maybe you should stop by the Wild Roots store on your way home.
That's true.
Your
We were
bathing
gonna go today, but she apparently wasn't feeling great this morning after whatever happened last night. So
Ah, I think they had Peg and Mark over last night.
okay.
Yeah, that explains it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen because I got this very accompanied exclamation point yes when I said she sent me her Wordle this morning at I don't know whatever time it was, probably 2:00 in the morning or something, and then which is what usually when I do it whenever, and it's often not when other people are awake. And she sent me her score, and I said, "Hey, any interest in swimming?" And she said, "Yeah." And then very quickly after that, I think reality hit. And she said, "Well,
nap time.
Maybe not. Yeah.
yeah." So
Well, I'm sure they had a good time.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's get going.